welcome to Food Waste Matters. I'm your host, Dr. Joanne Freeman from Honey and Fox, and I would like to introduce you to our first Future Leaders research student for this episode, Shan Alagappan. Now, Shan's research sounds absolutely fascinating. His research topic is about optimizing and industrializing black soldier fly production and redirecting food waste to livestock feed production using insects. So, Shan, before we get into your research, can you tell me a bit about yourself and why you chose this research topic in the first instance?
Yes, yeah, sure, John. Hi, everyone. I'm Shan. I'm from University of Queensland, and currently I'm doing a PhD there. But before this PhD, I was doing a master's in food science and technology. And the main reason I got into this insect space is because I wanted to do something around food security, and using insects seemed to be a very promising alternative.
And how did it come about?
So around 2019, to give you guys a bit of background, so I came here to Australia 2018 to do my master's in food science and technology. And a year later into my program, I attended this conference, which was around future foods and sustainability. And in that conference, I heard about there was this one specific theme, about alternative proteins and sustainable feed ingredients. And there were three or four speakers who were talking about, how insects could be a very sustainable ingredient, trying to address the protein demands of this growing population, especially in countries like Australia and other rapidly improving upper middle economy sector like based countries. So I listened to their talks, and the concept of using insects kind of stuck with me. And 6 months later, after me attending the conference, I got a chance to work on a research project, which was around, a particular native Australian indigenous insect. So that was my first endeavor within this insect space, and that's how I got into this. And I had a lot of fun working with it and exploring the concepts around it, the nutritional value and whatnot, and a lot of other research around it. And then I really, felt like I have to keep working on this space because this is a relatively new space and people need to know about it. And then yeah, I wanted to expand on this, and I also wanted to learn more about it because if you go into a university and try and do a degree on food science, that's not going to be a degree on insect science or insect nutrition. So the only way for me to learn about this was through research. So that I wanted to keep expanding on it, and then that project led me on to this PhD.
So, Shan, talking about insects now, can you unpack what you're trying to achieve with your research?
Yeah, so the insect I'm working on at the moment is called black soldier fly larvae. So they are kind of common in regions with tropical climatic conditions. So yeah, of course we've got that here in Australia. So this insect, they can grow on a lot of organic matter. Name anything organic, they can grow on it. It's just that you got to optimize the temperature and then their conditions and whatnot. But they can grow on different organic matter, and when they're doing it, they can eat 5 times their body weight, and they become rich in nutrient sources, which makes it a good feed and food source. But currently, we as humans, we find insects to be disgusting. There is always this neophobia going on. So a lot of people are not ready to eat insects directly. So we wanted to, grow these insects, and since they are very nutritious, we wanted to use them as feed for animals. But when I say that, I want to grow them on this organic matter that's already gone bad, there is this risk of safety. There are safety issues associated with it because you're not really sure, a product that's been obtained from a contaminated organic matter, is it going to be safe to be fed for animals? And also, when you want to, sell a product on the market, there are certain regulations and policies that you have to follow, like pretty much, government policies. And for selling a product like this, grown on an organic matter, and to be used as animal feed, the regulations are not clear. And again, for the same reason, because nobody knows about the safety of this product. So with my research, I want to, explore the different safety aspects of this particular black soil fly larvae when we grow them on different food waste. Make sure, kind of look at what are the safety concerns, what can we do to make them safe, and also how we can, kind of change the regulations around this area.
So, Shan, how do you collect your data? If you're looking at the safety aspect, how do you go
Yeah.
about collecting data?
So the main aspect for us to do this project is because we want to have an industry impact. Because I could do it in a lab scale, get my own colonies, kind of mimic some own food waste or something in a lab scale and do it, but that would not be an actual reflection. Because with this particular insect I'm working with, even if you change a small thing in the substrate or a small, a 2 degree, 1 degree change in temperature in the rearing room, it's going to have an impact. So we want to, kind of keep it as close as it is, in a commercial facility. So for that same reason, for my research, I flew down to an industry partner site. The industry partner is Gotera, who's based in Canberra. So I went to their site and then I spent a couple of weeks there setting up my experiments within their commercial production line. And then I collected samples, as it was going on, so that it's an actual representative. I'm not doing a pilot scale or a small scale, a lab scale setup here. It's actual samples from their actual production line. All the food waste they deal with, it's how they get it, and I collect subsamples of the same thing. So in that way, the samples are all actual representative of an commercial production facility.
So, Shan, any surprises so far?
Yeah, so when I first started, I went and looked at the site and then the type of food waste they process, and one would normally imagine that it's going to be filthily contaminated because they deal with food waste that's gone bad and that cannot be directly introduced back into the food chain. It needs to be transformed into something else because this is food waste, that's been gone bad or something like that. So when I initially went to the site and then when I saw their production unit and then samples and everything, I was just telling myself it's going to be a lot of contamination there, and we're going to come up with some effective processing techniques and whatever to make sure the product is all safe. But to my surprise, so far, and yeah, I'm actually completing my PhD. I've submitted my thesis, and from my thesis, what I've seen is the product seems to be safe naturally, and you don't have to do very extensive processing. And I'm guessing probably it's because and the food waste is a complex matrix. There is a lot of competition going on between pathogenic microbes or contaminants or whatever that's present. So the larvae, in a way, they have got their own systems to uh, prevent themselves from getting contaminated. And also, even if you see some contamination, it's not very extensive. And whatever normal processing techniques you would follow to finish your final product, you apply those techniques, and the product seems to be safe.
So, Shan, who would have thought our black soldier fly would be helping in the battle against reducing food waste? So, where are you hoping to take your research once you've completed it? And also, what's next for Shan?
Yeah, so in terms of research, I mean, future directions for the research. So when we started, we wanted to address two main things. So make sure, look at the safety of it, make sure the product is safe, and also kind of lobby some regulations around it, convince the regulatory bodies to tweak the regulations a bit so that, this product can be used for a larger market. Because currently you can use them as feed for fishes and then pets, but yeah, we want to, and also chicken based on the state you're operating, but we want to expand into it. And also when I looked at safety issues, I looked at the most obvious ones, like most obvious ones as in, that's currently listed in the regulations, like pathogenic microbes and some heavy metals and contaminants like that. But also there are other underlying issues which is not currently addressed but would eventually become an issue. For instance, issues around plastics, because when we say food waste, you would expect that it's just going to be food that we've eaten, but then you see a lot of plastics in them because plastics, we just use it everywhere. Yeah, so looking around the microplastics and plastic space would be very interesting, and yeah, you could also start looking at adding more value to the product rather than just looking at it as feed for livestock and pets. So I mean, from my opinion, in my opinion, I would think that's the way to go forward.
All right, thank you. Who would have thought there was so many opportunities around our flies? Well, that brings us to the end of our chat with Shan. Thanks so much for joining us today. I really appreciate your time, and I found our discussion really fascinating. So I wish you all the best in your future research, and I also look forward to hearing about any new research opportunities for you in the near future. So thanks again, Shan, for joining us.
Yeah, thanks so much. Cheers.
I would like to welcome Alexis Chung from Curtin University. Now, Alexis' research is all about abalone, and I'm not going to even begin to try to tackle your topic, Alexis. So I'll let you do that. And also, can you share with us a little bit about yourself and why you chose this particular research topic?
So actually, I've changed my PhD topic from that very complicated topic that was on the paper. My initial objective is to try to optimize a process to make the abalone into a high functioning compound. But I have read the literature and realized that there's quite a big gap on looking at the fundamental value of the abalone. So I've changed the topic to finding opportunity to use abalone organs to use for functional human outcomes. And the current focus is quite applicational focus. So I've expanded my investigation to look at a lot of different potential outcome that the organ can be used for. So I have done some research on looking at existing case study on food waste upcycling, and I have realized a systematical pattern, which is they either use it for food, cosmetic, supplement, or pharmaceutical. So I have applied these four things into my PhD topics and try to identify functional benefits when used as different outcomes. So I can give you an example, which is for food, I have to do a complete nutritional profile to identify the benefits or selling points. Then for cosmetic, we have to do some very high-tech stuff. We have grown some human skin cells on a petri dish and try to see whether the abalone extract can actually protect against DNA damage. So it become quite a diverse PhD topic with a lot of different things covered.
So, Alexis, sorry, if I could just ask, so with the abalone, what part of the abalone are you using? You know, because it's all
Yeah.
about reducing waste. What part of the abalone?
So the abalone are quite a simple creature. You basically have three parts: the shell, the food, and the organs. So what my PhD is about the organs, which is around 25 to 50% of the animal.
And tell me, Alexis, what's your research process? So, how are you collecting this data?
The abalone industry sent me the organs, and then I have first looked at the nutritional profile, which is to analyze the fat, the protein, the ash, the minerals, and the fiber content. And then after that, I have used a process called hydrolysis to basically extract all the good stuff out of the abalone organs. And that is the functional extract that I use to test it on skin cells and also in some test tube assay to see whether it has anti-inflammatory property.
So, Alexis, how far along are you in your PhD research?
So I'm in my third year now, and I have almost completed all the objectives that I say just now.
And so, can I ask you, have you found any surprises in your research so far?
Yes, there's one thing that I found very interesting is that first of all, recite myself, there's no paper actually talking about the basic benefits of the abalone organs. And what I found, and I have already published that as a paper, is that it overlapping with some ancient text that is from 1,000 years ago in China and basically say the same thing. I was just thinking like, how do they know that, these functional properties like 1,000 years ago and there's no technology?
And so, where are you hoping to take your research once it's actually been completed and finalized?
So I definitely want to see it to be commercialized and to be utilized in a commercial setting because I know it wouldn't be just changing one industry. It will actually be a case study, like an idol for other industry to look up to, and also change. Know that it's possible to change. Yeah.
And what's next for Alexis Chung?
I'm obviously hoping to be an academic, but yeah, I will see where there's opportunity and grants for this.
Well, Alexis, that's all for our interview today. It's been great talking to you, and I find the whole abalone species quite fascinating. So thanks for joining us today. I look forward to seeing where your research is going to take us, and I also look forward to reading some of your publications going forward, and all the best for the rest of your PhD journey.
Thank you so much for having me.
We now have our third and final End Food Waste Futures Leader student, and I'd like to welcome Mal Nguyen to our podcast today. Mal's from the University of Adelaide, and her research topic is about the development of advanced materials for food packaging. So welcome to Food Waste Matters, Mal. Now, before we get into your research, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and also why you settled on this particular research topic?
Yep. So my name is Melvin, and I am a third year PhD student at University of Adelaide. I am currently working on a research project about developing a sustainable food packaging to be used as an alternative for the traditional food packaging plastics. And um, my project focusing on using uh, potato and mushroom extracts to create a environmentally friendly plastic, and this plastic will look and function exactly like the traditional plastic that you use to wrap your sandwich every day. And the most interesting thing about this plastic is that it can break down easily when being disposed of. And the main reason that I chose to do this topic is because I have a concern about the environmental problems that currently happening around the world. As you may have known, plastic litter is very harmful for the environment because it does not break down when being disposed. And every year, 380 million tons of plastic end up in our oceans and landfill, and will continue to stay there for decades and even centuries. Um, and unfortunately, food packaging is the main contributor to this problem. When COVID-19 happened, this number even increased significantly due to the increasing demand in food delivery. So this problem has led to my concern over plastics, and I was just thinking that why don't we use something that is very cheap and abundant to create a solution for this problem, and that is the motivation of my research project.
So, Mal, you're saying that the plastic that you're trying to produce or manufacture is made out of predominantly potatoes
And mushroom.
and what else goes into it?
Potato and mushroom extracts are the two main components, but I also use a little of other components to be used as plasticizers. So it helps to connect the two main components together. But all of those components that I use for my uh, plastic synthesis is very environmentally friendly.
So, Mel, can you tell me how far away? I mean, this sounds, an amazing product or alternative to our traditional plastic. How far away is it to being commercialized or ready for the market?
So at the moment, I have already successfully synthesized the bioplastic, and I am on my way to trying to improve it. So one of the main problem with the bioplastic at the moment is that the barrier properties of the bioplastic is still very far from the traditional plastic. So what I am doing is I'm trying to make my bioplastic more to make my bioplastic stronger and more resistant to the ambient factors such as moistures or bacteria.
So, Mel, I understand that you're just starting the third year of your PhD. Where are you hoping to have taken this product by the end of your PhD?
The first thing is trying to optimize the product to make it comparable to the traditional plastic, and I am hoping that my bioplastic can be manufactured at an industrial scale, and then it will be commercialized in the near future.
And so, Mel, once you've finished your PhD and, are the inventor of this amazing commercial plastic alternative, what's next for you?
So I am hoping to continue to do research in biomaterials. So bioplastic can there are many different types of bioplastic, and even for the biodegradable plastic that I am making, we can use many different types of natural polymers and not only potato and mushroom. So I am looking to explore different kinds of natural polymers to create different kinds of biomaterials.
Okay, so that concludes our discussion with Mel today. Look, Mel, thank you very much for taking the time to join us today. I'm absolutely fascinated that you can make this product out of mushrooms and potatoes. You're obviously putting lots of hard work into your research. So I wish you all the very best, and I hope you get to the stage that you can commercialize this product.
Thank you so much.
So we've reached the end of another episode of Food Waste Matters, and I'd like to extend a huge thank you to Shan, Alexis, and Melinda for joining us today and sharing with us their fascinating research. So if you'd like to find out more information about the Futures Leaders program, head over to www.endfoodwaste.com.au, where you'll find information about the program managers, the research students, and the research projects. And to everyone listening, thank you for spending your time with us today. Make sure you subscribe to get notified every time a new episode is published. Or if you want to see all our previous episodes, head over to www.foodwastematters.com.au. Once again, thanks for joining us. Until next time, bye for now.